Hey guys, welcome back to Play on Footy. Today we're going to be looking at the semi-finals predictions, and with the main game being the Hawks versus Port Adelaide. I mean, that one there I'm looking forward to the most, purely on the basis of the amount of heat that Ken Hinkley has been on the receiving end of, which has been, fairly sort of, I guess, well received by everyone, because it's sort of just the similar patterns that he's been following since last year, and just sort of having the right list to get to into the finals, but then just not going that final step to a grand final. Whereas on the flip side, Hawks are playing with such freedom, such joy, such ease, I would say. And I wouldn't say they're not a team that's like, say, their last premiership year of 2015 or 2014. They do have a somewhat hard edge, but they're a younger team. They probably can say they're a bit more of a, not arrogant team, but they're a very confident team. Probably antagonistic by Jack Ginnivan. I mean, he's been the best addition to their team that I can remember, for any side really. And I think he's really brought his sort of own playing style and flair to the team, which is going to really put them in good stead. Because let's take a step back in time, earlier this year, when these two teams met at the Adelaide Oval, funnily enough, and it was a team that Port Adelaide had Dan Houston that day. Dan Houston, I think, kicked 3 goals and was the best player on the team for Port Adelaide. He will not be playing in this finals game. Bear that in mind. Another thing to bear in mind is that on this day, Will Day was actually playing for the Hawks, and he was, I think, the second or maybe third best player for the Hawks on the day. Blake Hardwick got moved from the back line to the forward line, kicked 5 goals as well, so that's another thing to keep in mind, what happened there. And then what happened was, towards the very end of the game, in the dying seconds, Darcy Byrne-Jones kicked a goal, like a soccer goal, and they won by a point. And I always remember Sam Mitchell's face was just in utter shock and amazement. The scoreline read 80 to Port, 79 to Hawthorn, and I don't think that's what's going to happen this time. I'm fairly confident, so I'm going to be tipping the Hawks, or Hawkball, I should be calling them, in this game. So yeah, what do you guys reckon? Do you reckon I'm on the money there, or do you reckon I'm just getting all the hype of Hawkball? You've got to remember, this team, Hawthorn, they move the ball with such ease, and one of the reasons for that, we'll go back to the Western Bulldogs game, the most recent one. Jai Newcombe was their best player there. He got 35 disposals. When Jai Newcombe's on, he's on, and because there's no Will Day, he has to be on, and I'm pretty certain he's gonna have a big one against Port Adelaide. Who will go to him? Well, as I said, there's no Dan Houston, so it's going to be interesting who Port put onto Jai Newcombe, that's for sure, but we will have to see. Look, again, it's too hard to really tell at the moment. I know Zach Butters may be pretty underdone coming into this game. That's for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of the matchups. I'm fairly certain in the ruck, though, Meek is going to just monster sweet. I don't even think that's any sort of, there's no real qualms there. I think he's just going to get the job done. Vicentini played in the game the last time these two teams played. Vicentini played, and Meek pretty much did him as well. So, look, I've got to tip the Hawks in this game. Obviously, it's a massive for Ken Hinkley. The ramifications of them not getting into any further into this finals campaign doesn't look good on Ken. Will Koshi basically pull the plug on Ken? Who knows? There are two coaches going into 2025 that are under immense pressure, and that is Beveridge and Ken Hinkley. If Adam Simpson's gone, right, he's gone. These two coaches, Bevo and Hinkley, have a lot to answer for come 2025. Do they have, what it takes? Are they going to last a couple of games and then you get flipped to one of their assistants, like waiting in the shadows? who knows? But all I know is that it's going to most likely be the Hawks that are going to get the job done. And as Jack Ginnivan poked out at a post, I think, which was made by Brody Grundy and Isaac Heaney, saying, I'll see you in 14 days. Well, you know, it's all tongue in cheek, right? But he's probably not too far wrong, but they can't get it too ahead of themselves. So Hawk ball, but I know that they can most likely back it up. Now to the next game, Brisbane Lions are taking on the Giants. This one's at NG Stadium, so this is at the Giants' home ground. Last time these two teams met, it was, I think it was Lions 64 to Giants 82. And going off Lions' scoring ability or inability to actually hit the scoreboard, like in terms of goals, they kicked 15 behinds in the game against Carlton at the Gabba. 15 behinds is just inexcusable. If they do that against the Giants, I don't see them winning this game, in all honesty. You know, the Giants will definitely be coming for them. And they were so close to getting the job done against Sydney, which obviously would have helped them with a week off immensely. However, I'm of the argument that they can get this job done, even on the basis that they're, you know, having to play an extra game and not having, playing an extra game, not having a week off. I'm of the opinion that that will actually help them with momentum. And so I'd be pretty worried if I was the Lions, to be honest. You know, the Lions, they've got McCluggage, that's been really good recently. He's been really stepping up. Obviously, Lockie Neal's a very, very, very good player. Same with Rayner. But the Giants, they've got really good, like, cross-the-board sort of talent. Down back, you got Taylor and Buckley, and then Whitfield, and then in the middle, you got Caniglio, and you've also got Callum Ward that's been playing pretty well. He's been you know, really sticking up to them. Tom Green, of course, and then big Briggsy. Briggsy's going to do really well against Oscar McInerney, I believe. And then up the forward line, you got Jesse Hogan, who's won the Coleman, and you know, I don't want to put a limit on Hogan, and then I don't want to put a limit on Cadman. Cadman, in the last couple of games, he's really been showing some flashes of brilliance and absolutely, you know, doing his absolute best to bring the ball to ground, and then to at least get Brett Daniels to crumb it, or Darcy Jones to crumb it and kick a goal, which happened in the Swans game. So yeah, my tip is the Giants, to be honest. I think the Giants are going to get the job done. They've got, you know, such a bright future, and I think, you know, to be so close to having that finals berth. Obviously, they had the 2019 one with Richmond, and obviously they got blown out of the water there, unfortunately, and that was when Jeremy Cameron was in the team. But I think now they're really looking to the future. They're really wanting some silverware. You know, Andrew Demetrio, the old AFL CEO, was at the game in Sydney, and you could see him on the TV there, really trying to support them. And you know, I want every bit of their, you know, success, and I think they're at a stage now where it's really sort of, I don't want to say make or break, but they really want to get some reward for their effort. And obviously, love him or hate him, Toby Green, he's gunning for that silverware. He's, you know, he's trying his best. He didn't have a great game against Sydney Swans recently. You know, it wasn't his best game, not one of his greatest games, but you know, he's definitely trying to work towards it and trying to help the team cross the line. And I think, to be honest with you, as sad as it is for Brisbane Lions, I don't think they'll get the job done. You know, not at home, and Giants at home are generally pretty bulletproof. Let's be honest. So I think the last loss they had at home was against the Western Bulldogs, and that was a really off day for them from memory this season. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be tipping the GWS Giants to get it done. What do you guys reckon? Comment down below, like and subscribe. Which teams are you going for? Who's got your back? Who are you backing, I should say? And yeah, what do you reckon? Who's going to be the grand finalist? What's it going to be? What's it all going to, you know, basically come down to? My tip at the moment, it could be, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Sydney and GWS grand final. That's my money. But yeah, what do you guys reckon? Comment down below, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.